with our group in this little church in this frontier town. As you could see in the map below, it's right next to the Ashen Rise. It's just in the farmlands. The group had ventured there after hunting, following tracks. Rain followed these massive tracks that might be draconic, like dragon, might not be. Who knows?
I'm still pretending it's a giant chicken.
It could be a giant chicken. If you know what, if we get that boss meter, it's definitely a giant chicken battle. Uh, and having tracked and followed these tracks, the group kind of lost where they went. There was about 12, maybe, to your best estimate, little tiny reptilian tracks, almost gnome sized, as they used Nexon's foot as size comparison to see how like tall they were. Um, they made their way to the town, and there was a funeral. Very morbid situation happening. Nexon, Marvolo were able to talk to some of the townsfolk, finding out another child had passed on. They were having a funeral for yeah, English is my first language, and I'm bad at it. They were having a funeral for an empty casket, as this had happened a number of times before. Having entered in to the church, staying there for the service, the group was able to meet with the priest. Something was a little off about this priest, and Cassandra, Nexon, and Marvolo outed the priest as some kind of undead monstrosity, a curse upon the land. Rain having grabbed the priest, and Nexon using her zone of truth forced out the knowledge that the priest had been turned by Rain's best friend, the lordship, and turned into this horrific monster that buries their victims alive and kind of gets a weird sadistic pleasure from having them suffocate like they suffocated in their death. Hearing that, the party terminated the monstrosity, and Rain and Nexon dug up the children that were buried alive. Marvolo, using his medicine and knowledge of the how the body works, realized the children were alive. They were just poisoned. Cassandra started a ritual to remove the curse of the ghoul from the children. And between Nexon and Rain, they were able to pull the bodies in. And we pick up with Cassandra finishing the ritual an hour later. The father of the child that was being buried, having woken up, being held off by Rain, talking them down from, going mad with just seeing their child in this horrific manner. Having an hour pass, the ritual kind of completes. The party is able to see the children kind of start to come to life, going back to their body. The blood, Marvolo, you could see the blood kind of flowing through the children again, turning them from, that grayish color to now more vibrant, life filled bodies. Rain, the child you were holding to keep warm, their eyes pop open, sees you, and they start to cry. They're confused. They see a giant moose woman holding them and not their parents. It's tears of just confusion, not knowing what's going on. The child murders out. Mom, Dad, what's happening?
It, it's okay. It's okay. We're going to find your parents. You were taking a long nap, okay? You're awake now, and I'm sure you're hungry. We're going to find your parents. We're going to get you food. We're going to keep you warm, okay? You just breathe with me. Yeah, let's get that heartbeat back up. Just take some deep breaths. We're going to be okay. And do you remember? I'm going to carry you. You want to point out where your home is?
Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Uh-huh. And Marvolo and Nexon, you start to see the other children, their eyes fluttering, opening up, realizing what's happening. A few of them start to sob. Some of them start to call out for their mothers. The father rushes to his child, grabbing his child and holding him, tears exploding from both of them. Their love is the only thing that is pouring out between the two of them. Um, he's wiping his child's hairs, trying to get the dirt out of it. And he looks and he says, "You, you're all heroes. You've saved my child. I don't know." And then he looks at the doors, and you could see he's trying to figure out, like, should he go outside and start to yell for people, for like to have people come and bear witness to the victory, this triumphant, push of the heroes who've overcome this hardship upon the town. And he looks and he says, I don't know how to thank you. Please come with me. Let's bring the children outside. Let's put them in the sun. Let them warm up.
Yeah. Well, and can you help us find the families?
Mhm.
Let us know which houses are theirs.
Of course. And he looks right at Nexon. By your feet you have a little girl, and he goes, "Oh, that is Audrey. I know her family. They live not too far from me. Please come, let's go outside. I will." And he looks around, and he pats his child, and he says, "You stay with them. They'll protect you, I promise." He says, "Just give me a moment." And he kind of runs to the back room, and a few moments pass, and all of a sudden the bells to the church start to ring. And you can hear now it's echoing, and the children kind of put their ears up on their heads, as it is loud inside. Um, and the bells are just, bong, bong, bong. And then there's a snap, and you hear a clutter. And a few moments later, the father, steps forward, and he's walking out, and he's holding the bell rope. And it looks like he was yanking it too hard. He might have like snapped it. And he's like, "I'm sorry. I'm just so excited." And he grabs his child in his one arm, and he starts to walking forward. And he looks at the group. He says, "Please come with us. Come,
Yeah,
come."
I'll kind of help like walk out the child that's closest to me, Aubrey.
Mm-hmm. And pushing forward, the children all kind of start walking forward, following you. Everyone's kind of makes their way to the front. At this point, a small crowd, as you throw the doors open to the church after unsealing them, as Marvolo had sealed them at one point. Outside, there's a group of people. Just what's going on? And the man steps forward and he says, "These wonderful folks have saved us. Look, they've brought the children back." And you can see the mother of the child that had just passed has now started coming back, and she just drops to her knees, tears flowing from her face. Other people in the crowd start to cry and cheer, and everyone is just happy. People rush the group, grabbing children, patting them, touching them, trying to feel this as if it might be a dream. And the father looks to the group and he says, "Whatever you need, I will help you. Please come to my house. You can rest with me and my family. You're more than welcome here." Stepping forward is, I would say, the mayor, someone of repute. The crowd kind of parts to allow this person to come forward. And she kind of, stands tall, and she says, "I'm sorry, I didn't get everyone's names. My name is Ruby. How is this possible?"
Rain just kind of laughs like, "Oh, well, to put it simply, your priest unfortunately was not exactly a priest and was preying on these children. But fortunately, we have some wonderful team members." She's going to push forward Nexon and Malvolo, who are excellent at identifying these kind of situations. So fortunately, we were able to find the children in time and take care of the priest for you all. So you shouldn't have to worry about them anymore.
So like all of this information, right? Like just waves over her, and she looks at everyone and she says, folks, let's gather the children, let's get them to their parents, and may I have a word with, and she looks at everyone, you all privately, to talk about what happened. Maybe you could tell me why my priest, they were preying on these children.
Yeah, oh yes, we can. But make sure the children drink maybe like soup or broth or water first. Going straight to like really hard foods might be harder for them to digest. So ease them into it.
Of course. And she kind of looks at the group. She's like, well, you heard the person?
Right.
At that point, Kalodi, this like tall wooden puppet wearing like, he's wearing his usual kind of red hood and cloak. As he steps forward, he sort of pulls it back, revealing his kind of it's almost like a wig, right? You haven't really seen too much of it. It's like this blowing in the wind, but clearly fake. As he stands forward and he says, "We're big damn heroes! Big damn heroes! Big damn heroes!
No.
Come on! You all can do it! You wait, no!
We're here to help. Just dropping by.
We also like money!" Malvolo will help Rain just sort of smother the puppet as he's like, "I'm so sorry. I'm sorry. Yes, no, we're doing charity. It's perfectly fine. Just shut up."
Why did you create a watch switch?
Yeah, we're from up in Sandpoint. I'm Nexon. This is Rain. That's Malvolo, and the loudmouth is Kalodi.
Oh, well, you are our honored guest and heroes of our small village. So 3 cheers for Rain, Nexton, Marvolo, and Kalodi, and the crowd starts to cheer, and you can hear the child Rain that you were kind of holding at this point is now waving to you, and it's like Rain. And everyone is just extremely excited. The children have now started to like disperse and gone to their parents. The parents are coming forward and just shaking everyone's hands. It's all a lot is now being pushed onto you. And every time someone kind of comes forward to Marvolo politely declines as best as possible.
Please don't touch me. No, it's fine. No, your gratitude is perfectly fine from a safe 6-meter distance.
Everyone is being super happy. A few people are thrusting into your hand coins of wide variety of amounts. It's not like platinum pieces, but a few of them have given you a gold piece. A few of them have given you copper pieces. They're just so grateful for you and for everything you've done. The young man Marvolo that you got the rose for kind of comes forward and gives everyone a flower, as that's what he was selling.
Oh, thank you. Your generosity is very kind.
And with that,
Wear it. Pin it to your shirt. You look handsome.
He'll very trepidatiously kind of place it into like his coat pocket, so it's like sitting on his shirt like a lapel. As he sort of looks, he says, I don't know. I've got this feeling, Rain, and it's something in here. It's strange. It's kind of warm and slightly moist. I don't know if what is that?
Rain is just like beaming, just like this bright big smile, like, oh, bless you. You're experiencing love and happiness and good things. Embrace it. She's gonna like grab his shoulders, like, this is fantastic. Look at you smile. Go ahead and try just to indulge it a little bit. Smile a little.
You see Malvola's mask just doesn't change.
Just
Underneath, however, he's like, he's
just-
trying. He's
Oh.
trying. He's
This is
giving
a
it.
good moment. Embrace it. This is one of those situations where you've done something good and the people get to appreciate and have and enjoy the good thing that you have created from it. And it's created this beautiful situation. So embrace it. Let this flower.
I am
Gonna
glad
point, like,
that
kind of pat the lapel flower like this. This is
uh,
something you hold on to. This is now a memento of that happiness for you.
this dying
Anytime
flower.
you start feeling sad, you hold on to that, okay?
Okay, I will. I am glad that the children aren't dead. I mean, that we thought
That's a
they
good
were.
minimum, yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, we're all okay. I mean, none of us are dead.
Yeah.
This is
This is on fire.
I feel good. I
Mhm.
I feel as though we have. This is good. And yes, I think we can keep doing this, and keep getting flowers, and do other things that are great and good. What else is there to do? I want more of this.
That's wonderful. Just embrace it. We'll do more in a bit, but let's soak in this moment. You don't need to go around and like
Okay.
start
Okay.
picking
Too much.
everything
Dial
up.
it back.
Just-
Dial it back.
yeah,
Okay,
balance,
little bit.
balance. You
Okay,
know this.
Okay. Maybe I can make a good Kalodi.
That would be a miracle, actually.
Well, and you know, word of this getting back to the sheriff in Sandpoint is probably going to help you in particular, and probably the rest of us in our stand-ins.
Yes, he does still think that I am responsible for a string of murders.
Which is
so
ridiculous.
it's absolutely ridiculous.
Mhm.
I mean, I hate this. I mean, look, I'm wearing white for all over. I mean, what kind of mad serial killer wears white to go murder people?
You know, one that enjoys the look of blood on it, but that's okay. We don't have to go into that.
Yeah, no. But should we take up the gentleman's offer to stay and maybe rest at his abode until I mean we not to end such a good thing, but we after supplying we should really continue to Foxglove Manor.
Yes. And
Well, and I wonder if maybe he might have any inside knowledge of Foxglove, or has seen anything else that might assist us.
so we might mention to the mayor and some of the people that they might want to keep this news, as wonderful it is, maybe in the town for a while. I worry with news spreading around sort of thing that, well, once they find out their little pet priest is no more, that they might send an alternative or a backup, or know that we're on our way.
That's very wise. Sorry, Ruby, was it? We're ready to divulge a little bit more details as to the occurrences here. But
Yes.
before we begin, Rain had a suggestion that perhaps we don't announce to too many people about the dichotomous nature of your local priest. Maybe just to alleviate concerns and stop anyone who might be trying to influence things in the region from understanding that one of their horns may not be in play anymore.
Yes, that is good. I would appreciate that. Why don't we go back to my home? I have some. We could have a drink, sit by the fire, wash up, and as she says that, she looks at Rain and Nexon as there is. Remember, you guys were digging up these coffins aggressively, so you've all gotten a little dirty.
I'm just gonna pull out one of my strings and keep pulling it. And there's like a little wheel on it that spins, and I'm just gonna cast prestidigitation over me and Rain.
And with that, Ruby looks around. She's like, "Oh, I see how you guys are heroes, but why don't we keep that to the minimum? I appreciate your magic, but it's
sorry.
okay.
Just didn't want to track in any dirt into your home.
Of course, and please don't take any offense to this. I just don't want townsfolk constantly asking, "Oh, could you make it rain? Can you do this?" You know, we don't get a lot of practicers of the arcane art out here, so they like to ask them to do little things, and then those little things do build up over time. So it's more of we help ourselves so that we can prosper without relying on such things. But again, you did nothing wrong. I apologize if I made you feel any ways about that.
Oh no, not at all. I completely understand.
Thank you. I appreciate that. So please, and Ruby kind of leads you all. She kind of starts, pushing the crowd, not pushing like but like starts to disperse the crowd and says, "Everyone, please go home and remember what Rain said about feeding the children. Let's all give them warm soup. Let them relax. Maybe they don't have to do chores this evening or the next few days. And let us all take this a good sign from the gods and goddesses that we were blessed by these folk from Sandpoint." And the crowd cheers again, cheering. You could hear everyone's kind of excited. That sense of dread has lifted off of this town. You could just feel it. And Ruby Ruby takes you to her home, and it's nothing fancy. In Sandpoint, this house would be considered a cottage. Rain, it's slightly bigger than yours at best. But this is probably one of the larger homes in the area.
Is the doorway big enough that I can just walk through, or do I need a duck?
You could walk through.
Okay.
Yeah. So she leads you into her house, and she has a few old chairs, and she says, "Please sit by the fire, sit by the fire." And she goes to get some wood and tosses it into the fireplace. The fire, now picking up with some speed and heat. As you all arrange yourselves in the room for the most comfortability, right? Giving everyone a little bit of space. Ruby kind of comes back, and she has a bottle of brandy and 5 glasses for everyone. She starts to pour a drink for everyone. And then she looks at Nexon and Cassandra, and she's like, "I'm sorry, I don't have any smaller glasses." And she just gives you a normal size glass of brandy, which, being smaller is kind of like a triple shot for you guys. Yeah, it's and she looks and she says, "So please tell me what happened, what brought this upon us, and what is going on, and what brings you out this far?"
Oh, we were. She's kind of like eye the others. We were traveling this way, looking and following up on some leads on another story that we were diving into, and we were following some interesting footprints that we found. Ones that kind of look like a giant chicken. I don't know if you've seen a giant chicken, perhaps nearby. No, okay. That's okay. It's a hunch. It's a hunch that we've had, so we'll keep looking around for that. But we happened to stop by. Obviously, we heard the bells, and we came. Unfortunately, fortunately, I'm butchering this. I'm sorry, darling. We had an opportunity to talk to the priest one-on-one, and she's again going to point to Malvolo, Nexon, Cassandra. They had a wonderful sense that things were not right at all in any way. And, well, we were able to determine that your priest was not exactly alive. Yes. So
what?
Would one of you like to talk about the undead priest? The grave thingy.
Well, yeah, we've it's perhaps a little related to while we're on our way down here, we've been dealing with some undead up in Sandpoint, and think that might be originating a little bit from Foxglove Manor. So we were on our way there, and Your priest mentioned, uh, it sounds like what was affecting up in Sandpoint uh, turned him as well, and he was the one responsible for all the children going missing. After, not the normal priest, but
Mm-hmm.
But of course, not to say that the this person or persons who were responsible for this have any machinations against your town. One of the people we had investigated in order to try and ascertain more information was a man by the name of Graced. I believe he's from this town, and as is his wife.
Yes, I know them. What do they have to do with anything?
Have we given the ring yet? No.
You just got to the towns.
I will look at, I imagine, Rain or Cassandra, who has the ring.
Yeah. She's gonna hold it up. It's actually been kind of like on just the tip of her pinky, so that she holds on to it. Yeah.
Yes, we actually only came to this town bearing grim news that Mr. Graced was one of the unfortunate victims of this undead spreading creature, and the last request he had made before we unfortunately had to witness the end of the man's life was to return his wedding band to his beloved wife here in this town.
She looks at you and she kind of says, may I see the ring, please?
Oh, yeah, of course. Just gonna like pop it off her pinky knuckle and hand it over. But be careful. We do want to make sure that we can give it to his wife.
And you said he died due to this monster that's out there coming from attacking these lands, causing this kind of mayhem.
I'm afraid so.
Yes.
Did he die badly? I just would like to know a little bit more about how he passed on.
He's at peace now, but he wasn't happy in how his death happened, I think is perhaps the best way to put that.
Collodi looks like he's about to say something. Malvolio just turns his head and Collodi puts his hand down.
Oh. Well, as long as he's at peace. And she looks down and then she slides the ring on, and you now notice that she has her wedding band next to she puts it on the same, and she goes, he was a good man. I hope you know. I hope you know he didn't mean anything by what he did. I appreciate you getting this to me.
Oh my God, it's your husband? I'm so sorry. You may not be emoting, but like she may be holding it all together. Rain just starts bawling. Yeah. I'm so sorry. We should have been way more tactful about this whole situation. I was planning like something much more softer and presenting the ring in a really beautiful way and offering a little pleasant story, but I'm so sorry. She just gets up and tries to give her a hug.
And as you kind of come forward, she reaches out and takes your hand, and she says, it's okay. He never thought himself worthy of my love. He always tried to make more than he could, and I guess that led him down a path that I couldn't follow. I hadn't seen him in a few months. He said next time I would see him, he would have gotten me out of this town, and we would have had more money. I never needed more from him, but he always thought he needed to give me more. If he's okay and what you say is true, then I appreciate everything you've done. And she kind of squeezes your hand. You've come here trying to do one good thing, and you've now done two, and we can't thank you more than maybe giving you some provisions and helping you out in case you need anything. So please, if you need anything, just ask and we'll make it happen for you.
Rain is still just crying. She's way more impacted by this than she should be.
I'm so sorry for your loss. It seemed like it was his time to go, and I guess the one blessing is that we came here partially because of that, and we're able to help you. And if you wouldn't mind just kind of perhaps getting word to the sheriff back in Sandpoint that we helped you there. There's a little mix up there on our involvement in a few things.
I will send word to the sheriff that Nexon, Rain, Marvolo, Kalodi, and Cassandra have done a great many deeds here in our small town, and how he should know that you guys are aiding the people out here dealing with these atrocities that clearly Sandpoint Sheriff should be dealing with, as we are under their jurisdiction. So I will make sure he knows. And it's still
take your
Sheriff
time,
Baylor,
recover.
correct?
Yes.
Okay. I'll
Maybe
send
start with Malvolo's name.
Start with Marvolo's name. And how do you spell that? M-A-R?
Malvolo seems to have trouble saying anything. He sort of stands up and sort of goes to one of the windows. He's kind of looking out the window, and sort of you watch as he takes off his mask and he sort of wipes his face, and then takes the brandy, and you see it sort of disappear, and then he puts his mask back on as he turns and he says, "Yes, Malvolo." What?
Jots it down next to
Over
her.
there.
Fine. Just need a.
Do you want a hug?
I'm okay. I could use a hug.
Come here,
Come on,
Kalodi.
I'll bring it in. And Puppet goes and hugs Rain. The puppet's like half of Rain's size.
She'll
It's
kind
a
of
bit
pick
tight.
Kalodi up more like a child.
Right, that's too tight.
Back at all.
It's too tight. Right. If I had lungs, I couldn't breathe.
It's okay. It's okay.
There's that
Just
slight
to make sure
wood
that we're all-
squeak.
You're just gonna stay here with me for right now, Kalodi.
Oh, okay. I guess I am. I'm sorry.
Plus, I needed this hug. I needed it really hard because this is a really sad moment. She's just gonna start crying again all of a sudden. Like, she finally gets to have somebody hug her and she's just like bawling. She needed this.
Yep. Kalodi's, kind of looking for the button that has his airbags, but Malvolo's taken them out, so he can't just, just.
Kalodi, yeah, he's pretty tough, right? Like, I can squeeze pretty hard.
Oh,
Like, that's
yeah.
a strong moose hug, right?
Oh yeah, he could definitely take a moose hug, and he can give one back. But he's giving you the hug. He wants to give you the hug that you need.
I feel like that should be a level of measurement, like moose hug.
Moose hug
Should be somewhere on strength level. It's like, yeah, I could give a moose hug.
Yeah.
I could take a
I mean,
moose hug.
where is moose hug compared to like bear hug? Like,
Yeah, that's what I was wondering.
I gotta say moose hug, because people always use bear hug a lot more than moose hug, right?
it's true. People survive. Bear hugs all the time.
Yeah. No one's hugged a moose and came out saying like, I'd do that again.
Yeah, it's like, oh
Yeah.
man, let me give you a moose hug.
Moose hug, next level.
Yeah.
Probably also depends on like the size of the bear too, right? Like polar bears are probably bigger. Like a polar bear hug is more dangerous than like a brown bear hug.
That's
Yeah.
very true. That being said, I read an article today that apparently it's been so hot that polar bears have come down and started breeding with the grizzlies, and they're now making pizzlies.
Oh.
And that is adorable.
Sorry, what?
Yeah, Google that.
Yeah.
Come to Dead Aussie Gamers channel, where you get to learn random fun wildlife
Why
facts.
would they call them Pisleys? That's such weird.
Next character.
Pisley.
Yep, next character. Druid gets an animal companion. It's clearly a Pisley.
It's really a Pisley. Sorry about that. Laughter is always the best remedy for like these heavy
Like
encounters.
super heavy though.
Yeah. It's like, yeah, we saved the kids. Oh, that's his life.
The heart.
Casual news. Oh yeah, he died.
Just a curious question. You haven't had anybody else in town acting a little funny or a little manic or
No, we haven't, besides the children and apparently the priest, which none of us noticed, which is a bit disconcerting. No, really the only weird stuff besides the children going missing have been the weather. It's been usually around this season it's fairly nice, but you know, it's been rainy and cloudy. I don't know if that has to do with anything. And we haven't seen any giant chickens, so that's also a good thing, I'm guessing.
Oh, it could be a good thing. It could also be an opportunity to have a really awesome dinner at some point in time.
That is very true. That is very true.
It threw us off. We were looking for foot tracks, and oddly enough, they led us here, along with like a small party. Perhaps was there a small party that came by, like a small group
of like
of individuals?
folks about my size.
Mhm.
I don't think I haven't seen anyone like that. We've had people out in the streets patrolling since the first child had gone missing and then showed up. So you could, you know, I could have them come in and maybe talk to you all about what they might have seen, anything like that. But more or less, they would have came and said something to me about seeing a small party of small people.
Well, fiddlesticks. Okay. Well, that lead's not going to turn out anywhere, is it? How do you lose a giant chicken? Where can one of those things go? Chickens can't
Nixon's
fly,
just
right?
gonna kind of lean over to Rain and be like, I am also intrigued by this giant chicken, but perhaps that's a problem for another day. I'm a little bit more concerned with the fellow that keeps writing you letters.
Oh, right. No. You're right. You're right. To
I'm
be honest, the chicken sounds much more enjoyable to track down than that.
Oh well, oh no, it does certainly.
Am I the only one who says that both things are incredibly dangerous and horrible to track down, and that you know, just a giant chicken?
Malvolo, think of the feathers I could have for hats from a giant chicken.
And you know, I could make a light-based weight material from chicken bones of that density. That could, because if it was that big, it would have to have quite powerful legs, which I could easily use as a supplement for wood, and it would have a beautiful ivory coat, which I could use as a white wood. Huh. I've never tried scrimshoring, but that could be fun. Wait, no, you're trying to trick me again. Yes.
Yeah, and maybe making things out of skeletons might not be the best idea until we clear your name with the sheriff.
Oh yes, that is a bit necromantic, isn't it?
Yeah. Think more child friendly.
Child friendly.
Cute, adorable, big smiles, bright colors. Fluffy. Like something that you can squeeze. Eat it.
With that, Ruby kind of looks at the group and she says, well, I'm glad everyone seems to be coming up with interesting ideas on how to use a giant chicken for children, which is wonderful. And I'm glad people like yourself think it's a giant chicken. as that gives me less concern. We could handle a giant chicken. That is not as terrifying as other giant things that can pass through here. Now, I could call and have, if you're trying to find out around the area, I could bring in uh, my friend Bruna. She's mm, how can I say this politely? She has her ear to the ground and an eye out and always knows what's going on in town.
I love a good town gossip.
Yes, I'm glad you got that. I could bring her in. She could talk to you, and maybe she's seen or heard something going on around the town. Um,
Of course. And before that,
mhm.
I don't mean to press the issue. So if you don't want to talk about it, it's okay. But your late husband, do you know what he was pursuing in terms of money or how?
Well, he was, um,
It's
and
okay if you don't want to. Comfort level.
she takes a big gulp from her brandy, and she looks at everyone. She goes, "No, it's okay. I could talk about him. He was a dreamer. He constantly uh chased after the next big thing. Um, so he you know, whenever there was an opportunity for money to be made, he would try to get in on that. Last I heard, he was doing something for some merchants. Um, he was working for them, maybe as a guard uh, or a salesman. I'm not 100% sure. Maybe
Oh,
both. And they were, well, I didn't like them too much. They seemed kind of mm, greedy or shady. Um, they were selling tonics that could grow hair and also clean wood, which seemed a little different.
multi-purpose.
This individual's name didn't happen to be Mortwell or Hask.
Hask, yeah, he always seemed wet all the time. He had like this greasy look about him. Um, Looked like he never really washed his face.
Okay, we'll keep an eye out for a greasy fellow then. Thank you.
Hmm.
Oh,
But
and as a heads up, maybe for your town, like while we're looking for a greasy man, if you see anyone with like, uh, well, what were the clues? We saw like the priest was kind of like roast flesh sort of thing and smells kind of bad. You know, the things that look like death, you might be a little more skeptical of them moving forward, just as like a safety precaution.
well, I would suggest staying away from Hugo. He always kind of smells a bit bad, but he does move a lot of the manure. So,
Manure is fantastic. It's really great for the earth. That's not a bad smell. You're fine.
oh, okay. I was a little concerned there. I was just like, smells bad. Sounds like Hugo. Um, but smells like death. No one here besides apparently the priest would have smelled like death. Um, so why don't I go get Bruna and have her come to the house? Uh, I'll also get something for supper for us. What is there? I'll pick up some stuff for to eat, and we'll have a little dinner. You could pick her mind. It was going to take us a bit of time to get here. Um, she's an older woman, so but
She
please
sounds like
stay
a
here,
delight.
relax, and don't worry about anything. And then she kind of uncorks the brandy, pours everyone a little bit more, and she's like, "I'll see you all in a little bit."
Well, that went about as well as can be expected. I'm.
Yeah, we got to work on telling our story.
To be fair, we did
Oh,
not know that she was the late Mrs. Grace.
Oh,
I,
I
I
can't
mean, I
believe we
thought
just
everything
told
was
it
just
directly
fine.
to her. Like we just went straight to her face, like, oh, he's dead. Oh my gosh, Rain's gonna start
It's
tearing
okay.
up again.
Kalodi's just gonna
You
hug.
handled that so much more nicely.
I mean, um, now she knows.
You're right. You're right. We can't undo it. She knows. At least we didn't say something absolutely stupid and ridiculous. And she has the ring. You're right. We could have handled it a little better though.
Well, live and learn, and all that. Jared, the three bodies that were in the sheriff's, um, dead bodies, was any of them particularly greasy?
Uh, you know what? The gentleman that Marvolo made come up the stairs when you were doing the mad escape, right before the explosion, um, that was the one that you would suspect would have been the gentleman. He did look greasy, right? Like
Okay.
he had like the comb over, that super greasy comb over.
Oh,
Yeah. You know, the everything you think about, like the greasy salesman who's just trying to make a buck and lying about everything. Uh,
Cool. Well,
so,
I'm. Oh,
oh no, please,
I
please.
guess. I guess we know how Graced must. It sounds like from his dealings with Hask, that's how he got exposed and turned.
mm.
Well, I
Not
guess it's
unfortunate.
nice, I suppose, in a way to say that this is all coming together, but it's more horrifying to find out how widespread this is. I mean, it was one thing when it was just only in Sandpoint, but then it was Sandpoint and Foxglove, and now it's apparently Sandpoint and Foxglove and everything in between the two. This is really spiraling out of control, and there's still a giant chicken that's unaccounted for.
Well, with the exception of the giant chicken, at least perhaps we can take solace in that all roads seem to be leading to this lordship fellow.
Mhm.
Taking out the lordship would be cutting the snake off at its head. So we can at least, well, hope that once we deal with that, then all of this madness will, well, find its way to its end.
I'd really like that we could do that. I don't even know how I got involved with this. And the letters made from flesh, it's just nauseating to me. And I mean, no one, I'll be honest, probably in the best of situations, even if he was like a Prince Charming and handling all of this, I probably wouldn't handle it well anyway because I no one has even given me a second look like that before. But this is a very extreme situation, and I assume it's not normal dating courtship opportunities, right? This is
Uh,
not.
I wouldn't know. I never really get myself into those kind of encounter or Nexon.
I mean, no, not really. I tend to just tell somebody you like them and ask them out on a date, not leave notes on dead skin. That's definitely not normal.
Well, that's. I mean, I guess it's nice to know that it isn't normal. That most people don't just raise an army of undead for the one that they creepily desire, I guess, of sorts. It's not even love. This is like a weird word. What? Okay, Nexon, it seems like you're the only one of us that has apparently had anything to do with normal relationships. What is like an actual date supposed to look like? Like this is obviously not it. Like where you send weird, creepy letters and already call them like, oh, like I don't know. I just feel very weirded out. Like what does that look like?
I mean, it's usually just when at my family shop, I had somebody who asked me out to dinner one time, and we went out and had dinner, and then We watched all the fireflies over the swamp, and we had to leave because there were some rather big frogs that were a bit concerning. But I mean, until we ran into those big frogs, it was just kind of nice, a little awkward because he had no fashion sense and didn't seem to take too kindly to my critiques of what he was wearing.
Oh, oh. S- And you just said no, and you never had to meet him again?
Ah, well, it was kind of a mutual at the end of the date. I think I may have offended him at one point, commenting on his choice of wearing uh, royal blue and kind of a puke green together. It was not a good look.
Visually, yeah, that would be very upsetting to look at for a long time. I could see that.
Exactly, exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, and especially since we had so many different fashion choices to choose from, the mixing of those two was not, no.
But at least it sounds like he didn't badger you after that. Like that seems like a normal thing. We go, it didn't work, and we're like, okay, that's fine. Though I would be interested in the frogs that you mentioned. Like that kind of sounds like a fun adventure. But I mean, I get it. Maybe not a frog person yourself.
Yeah, well, and we had some issues with pests and stuff like that. So usually when there were frogs, it was like, oh, there might be some bugs in the area that can be carrying some not so great illnesses and all of that. Which, I mean, we would, yeah, that was not always the best.
I would not have thought of that when I was thinking of like a date. Like, oh, we got to be aware of like big illnesses. See, I'm learning a lot. Navola, are
Yeah.
you taking notes too?
Well, and this wasn't in Sandpoint. This was at home. I haven't run into those kinds of things in Sandpoint, which I very much like it here.
It is
Do
nice, isn't it?
do not give
Me minus
women
all the
flesh
undead.
from skin.
Yeah, make sure
Yeah,
nice dinner,
nice.
and then they went to
Yeah.
go to a pretty swamp afterwards.
Pretty swamp.
Yeah, take her if you
Is there?
whoever you find,
I'm
take
sure
them
we
to a
can find.
nice swamp.
I'm sure we can find somewhere cleaner. Maybe. I got asked that one. I got asked that once.
You did?
But
I mean,
Yeah,
that's of course you did.
yeah. I got asked that once. I was in the Rusty Dragon, and it was around closing time, and Cassandra she come up to me and she's like, "Hey, look, we're closed. Get out."
that that's not the
No.
the same thing.
Oh. I thought. Okay. I think we're talking about different things here. What's the difference? I mean, you're asking someone to get out, and
No, no, no. We're referencing like more on a romantic, like a date.
right, the romance thing. I've seen that before. I've seen it before. Yeah. Dead skin ain't a good way to go about it. Uh,
I
yeah,
think you're
flowers.
misinterpreting that, but I get where you're going.
But yeah, flowers. I've seen people with flowers, and does that mean the
Hmm.
flower guy is
No, yeah,
asking Malvolo out? What
yeah.
is that? Is that what this means? Does the flower man want to ask me out on a date?
I don't think that's that kind of flower. I think it was more of
Flowers
an
can be many
appreciation
different
flower.
things.
But flowers can be, that could be a pretty common. Rain, you were asking what's normal. Getting flowers and somebody kind of not in a like, thank you so much, but more of a like, I really like you. Here you go.
There is a very secret and intricate language for romance. I will definitely study this more.
Oh,
Yeah.
you should. I actually do know a lot about flowers, and then now depending on the color and the type, they can mean different things. So you could put a bouquet together with like a secret message behind it, sort of thing. Like certain ones like mean like, oh, this is for a friend or this is for a family member. Like there's certain levels, like there's one like based like on color alone, like yellow is typically for friendship, red is more romantic, white is, like that sort of thing. But there's also like a deeper level within flowers. It's really exciting. Like Ring just like starts nerding out of sorts. Like this is like a secret language that certain flowers, if you combine them, you can pass messages. And there are some people where you put these together and you actually, like some people do like carrier pigeon, or you can come up with coded messages. Florists actually have their own language in which they can communicate and share messages. So in times of like strife or secret messages that you need to send, don't think about going to your underground criminal, go to your florist. And that's way more subtle. And then your secret message smells great too. So why wouldn't you want to do something like that?
As Rain kind of comes to a head about the secret life of floral messaging, which, by the way, I'm stealing because that's an amazing thing to have for your Assassin's Guild. They just run a bunch of florists, and that's how they send.
I'm just imagining that the scene from The Godfather. Send him a message he can't refuse. Oh wow, tulips! Thanks, boss.
Yeah,
Massive
These are
bouquet.
delightful.
There's no way I could turn this back.
Yeah, that's literally what I'm stealing. I thought that was a really cool thing. But as everyone's giving this dating advice and time has gone, and remember, you guys are drinking, so this is more like drinking conversation because the brandy is a bit strong, and Nexon is having triple shots of brandy. So the door opens, and in steps Ruby, followed by an older woman, Bruna, and she kind of comes in and she says, "Oh, is this the group of heroes who's saved all of us? Wonderful, wonderful. My name is Bruna." And she goes up to everyone and she goes, "How are you all doing tonight? How are you all doing tonight?"
Hello. Here, let me grab you a seat. Like she immediately goes into caregiver mode,
Mm-hmm.
like pulls the seat over closer to her, offers her an arm to guide her closer to the chair.
"Oh, wonderful. Thank you." And she kind of takes your arm and she like feels your muscle. She goes, "Oh, you're a big one, aren't you?"
Yes, thank you.
And so polite, so polite. And she sits down next to you and she says, "So how may I help you?" And Ruby looks and she says, "Well, Bruna, they just wanted to know more about what's been going on maybe in the town and around the neighborhood." And she kind of sits back and she looks, seeing the brandy, and she makes like she looks at the brandy, looks at Ruby, looks back at the brandy, and Ruby's like, "Oh, I'm sorry." And she runs, gets a cup, pours it, and gives Bruna a cup of the brandy, and she starts to sip it. She says, "Well, what would you like to know?" And if anyone would like to make a society or diplomacy or a check like that, that's perfectly fine, and those would kind of, she'll know how much to tell everyone. She doesn't want to give all her secrets, right?
Oh,
Well, there's a 20, so it
okay.
first 20 of the game, Nexon's like, "Tell me all your secrets, madam."
It's the brandy.
It's the brandy. So as Nexon kind of leans in and says like, "Oh, I would like to know more about, what's going on." Bruno goes into tirade, and I'll cut it short for everyone because who wants to hear this old lady give all? She starts with like the smallest detail of like who's been seeing who, and someone was cheating on someone else, and Ruby kind of cuts in and is like, "I think they don't care about that, and they care more about like the area." She goes, "Well, excuse me then," and she starts to explain how she's been here for the last, I want to say, she was born in this town, so she's been here about 65 years, give or take. And she goes into all of the misgivings, and about the misgivings, and that's kind of the local town name for all this bad stuff that happened over at Foxglove Manor. And she goes into explaining how um, the manor has kind of gotten a strange reputation, a bad reputation among the different townsfolks. As originally, when the Foxgloves built the manor, and this wasn't their main home, this was like more or less their country home. One of the older family members, and this is more or less a rumor, that one of the older family members had made a deal with some kind of entity. Everyone says they made a deal with devil and for more wealth, and the deal turned sour. Because the deal turned sour, one of the older Foxgloves, the they're not sure. She's not sure about the name because it happened in her mother's time. But the wife, Cassandra, Cassandra, passed. Was sent to a mental institution and then was passed on. Something happened to them. They got passed, and they went mad or something. Additionally, when Alden, the youngest son, came back to Sandpoint and the area to kind of refurbish the house, the men and women craftspeople wouldn't work in the house because at first they started working there, but then strange occurrences started happening. They would see lights in the windows. Some claimed there was this massive bat-like shape that would appear over the house and would scare away people. That was Serial Foxglove was found dead in there, and the body was burnt and dashed on the rocks below the cliff because it does overlook like a cliff face. What else does she know that's more or less not just the Foxglove family had kind of fallen on some negative times, and the rumor is the fortune has run dry, and they're struggling and they're trying to figure out how to raise money. So the rumor is
it
Alden
sounds like they're trying to raise more than money here, if you follow my meaning.
Yeah, and the rumor is Alden has been going between Magnamar and the different larger towns, trying to kind of wager their reputation and their family name for capitals to start some kind of new venture. But it's all very some claim it might be a mining venture, some claim it might be like a very, and this is the shadier version, but like they're trying to crypt dive, kind of treasure hunt into ancient ruins and collect certain magical artifacts that they could use to sell on the black market. But that's all hearsay, right? Like that's more of like the more fantastical version, instead of just saying starting a new trading route with ships to the different islands.
Well, it all sounds grand in any case.
Besides that, she says, "Oh, I'm sorry." Besides that, she also does say she hasn't seen any children, but a number of forest workers, miners, loggers, and stuff that use the area near the swamps and even near the Ashen Rise have claimed to have seen a large figure in the woods.
Like a chicken?
Not so much chicken. And additionally, stuff goes missing from their camps. Like when they're out there logging, uh, and it's
Like
like art,
food or supplies?
like tools. Some of it's tools, some of it's food, some of it's just very weird stuff. Clothing. Sometimes they'll just find clothing missing, but not like pairs. Like there'll be a shoe taken, but not a pair of shoes. Uh, so it's all very strange, and
Feel
that's
chaos.
kind of near the swamp area is more or less where a lot of that stuff is happening.
Well, that's bizarre.
Well, great. So something's in the woods stealing random things. Separately from that, it turns out whatever is behind all of this, it seems to be money, which go figure. It's always money. It's wretched. You know what? I think it would be really great if we all just lived out in the woods and didn't really care about any of this. This would make it so much easier. Hmm.
Well, thank you for sharing all that. Uh,
No problem. I appreciate spending time, and um if you hear anything, please let me know. And it's been about a few hours at this point. Everyone's eaten. She's kind of given as much as possible. Um and every so often she would try to pry information from the group, like, oh, what's behind Marvolo's mask?
mm,
Who's Kalodi? Where do you guys come from? So it's more or less it's a give and take. She's trying to pry information from the group, but with that nat 20, it's more or less you have reign over the conversation. You're controlling the
yeah,
speed.
yeah. Nexon will just kind of like give a short answer and be like, "Oh, but you were telling me about so and so. That was very fascinating."
Hmm. Yeah, it's
Really?
that she was trying to prod the conversation. As she was holding Rain's hand, she's like, "Oh, I don't see a wedding ring. Are you on the market?" Uh, and stuff like that. So, but it's very much she's trying to pry the information from you guys, but you've held the conversation because Nexon's 20. And I'm not mad with that 20. I'm not
Malvolo is
salty.
like super impressed at Nexon's command of gossip. Like, I think Malvolo would have definitely shut down. Like, if that were happening to him, he'd just be like, yep, just gonna crawl in a ball over here and vanish into nothing. But that was amazing. And he will say so. That was amazing.
Well, I've had quite a bit of practice listening into to folks as I'm, measuring stuff. You'll be amazed what people will tell their tailor.
It's true.
I never thought of that. Huh.
Good to
There,
jot notes down.
there is
Assassins
a
were also tailors.
yes, there is a saying back in Haruka, which is of course, do not piss off your tailor.
Oh, as the evening kind of comes to a close and winds down, Bruna looks at the group and says, "Well, I should get home. It is getting fairly late, and you all should probably rest up." And she bids everyone a good evening. Um, she starts to head out into the night. Um, Ruby looks at the group and says, "Well, you're all more than welcome to sleep here and spend the evening, maybe get an early jump on tomorrow if that's something you would like. I'll be more than happy to collect rations and supplies for your trips. Um, do you know where you guys would be heading?"
Mm. The epicenter of it all, apparently, Foxglove.
Well, I'll if you have any needs for any specific supplies, why don't you write them down? Um, I'll get the list and I'll go out and get and procure them in the morning. Um, I'm going to lay down and kind of relax for today.
Sure.
Again,
And
we
thank you
appreciate
for your hospitality.
We also do have the hospitality of the father of the young lad whom we saved. Perhaps I think we should maybe take our evening there. I look at the others and then sort of gesture at Ruby.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. We've imposed too long. We'll get out of your hair. You've been ever so kind. We'll find our way. You've been absolutely darling in hosting all of us and helping us get information, especially when you're processing all of this information and emotion right now. And if you want a hug, she's gonna kind of offer anytime, okay?
maybe one day I'll take you up on that hug. Um so yeah, if you want to stay, that's fine. If you want to go, that's also acceptable. Thank you very much for everything you've done in the town with us. Um if you want to just write up that list as you head out, please do. But I'm gonna turn in for the evening. And she kind of picks up a candle and heads to the back of her cottage. And then you could hear the door close. And a few moments later, the light from the candle turns off.
So we'll just create a quick list and then we'll head on over to go see. That sounds pretty good, right?
Yes, I think so.
Marvel, Rain is going to go ahead and grab a piece of paper and a pen. So, what are some things that we need? Does anybody have anything in particular?
I think I have most of the things that I require for a long journey. If anything, thinking about us perhaps having to go and investigate Foxglove Manor for this murderous serial killer makes me think that, and don't say anything, that maybe some traps might be of use. I can do quite a lot with just a minimum amount of fishing wire, some small bells, avoid us getting jumped on. Any chance? So Jared, as far as the stuff that we can get, is there a like what we can ask the mayor to bring for us? Is there like a list, or is there a what can we get?
We're going to ask for dynamite.
Yeah.
I would like your finest bazooka.
Yeah, that's probably a little harder to get. So think like Frontier Town, like Disney Frontier Village. So you have like general tools. Traps would be possible. Like you would be able to pick up like a bear trap. That stuff is they would use. Chicken wire, stuff like that would be used to, fence in their coops. Um, they are also partly a logging village, right? They talked about that as they are near this river. So from the swamps, they usually send down logs, and the two towns that you could see right there on the map collect them and split the profit. So I remember Marvolo saying something about wanting to find a specific kind of wood. That's a possibility. You could see if they have any of that special wood that you were looking for. As far
I think
as
Kalodi is still just ahead.
it's like parts of Collodi at this point.
I've been building them slowly.
Yeah. As far as like potions or chemical goods, they do have a small amount of them. Everything would be the lesser. So like lesser antitoxins, lesser healing potions. They're not the stronger ones. And yeah, it's all on the house. So she just keeps saying, give us the list and we'll provide. So if you're like, hey, give me 300 healing potions, you might get like 2 or 3, as that would be the amount they would have on hand. So there's nothing really stopping you. Magical items in terms of like wands, scrolls, and stuff like that, they sadly do not have. Now, that's not to say you guys can't check the church out, as I wouldn't say it's ransacking, but no one did look in through the church. The priest might have a scroll there or something.
Yeah, I would ask for if there's anything to deal with toxins, and then also next and just be like, ask about I saw a couple of town folk wearing these nice looking shawls. I wouldn't say no to one of those.
Okay. Shaw, do you have a color preference?
Ooh, if they've got like a nice rich red.
Rich red shawl. Excellent. Anything else? If we come across that chicken, we could give it chicken feed to lure it in. I'm just gonna ask for like some food pellets. And if we ever get desperate enough, we could also eat it.
Mm-hmm.
Just latching onto the chicken.
It's 100% a hope and a prayer that whenever they find it's a giant chicken.
It's like a red herring, but instead it's giant and fluffy. I know there's the main mission, but this chicken.
This chicken, this is where you're gonna end up. It's the final boss. This whole time I've just been alluding to giant chicken.
It's actually a giant chocobo? Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. I've got a list of just some random mundane things like bag of flour, rope, oil, net, some snares, etc. But yeah, that's I can deal with that later.
What do you need a bag of flour for?
Are devious.
No. Again, I am a trap maker, and flour is a very versatile substance if you use it in the correct capacity. It can help reveal the invisible, or perhaps even ignite into a large explosive if utilized correctly.
As we found at the farmhouse. But I thought we were going to try and let a few less spies.
Well, my intention was, of course, to find people who are hidden as opposed to, you know. It just doesn't mean that it won't be used for that. Plus, of course, if we find the chicken, we can deep fry it.
Yes! That's a fantastic idea. I like it.
I do love me some fried chicken.
Sorry, I just got to say this blissful dwarf says, cookies rain. Flour is for cookies.
Yes.
That's what my Malvolo's gonna make us cookies.
Just blatantly lie. And then Malvolo, later on down the track, we're like running for our lives, and it's like, Collodi turns around and says, Malvolo, the cookies are ready. Oh! Click! No. It's terrible.
Is he an easy bake oven now?
Got a little light inside of it.
Oh, my poor puppet. One day. All right. So yeah, we'll put together a list, and and then we'll go and rest with the man whose child we saved, and then be ready to set out in the morning for the Lost Coast Road, and proceed southwards back to Foxglove Manor.
Yeah. Unless anyone has anything of dire need to have a conversation with anyone, the father of the child that you were able to save welcomes you. Again, food is thrusted upon you. He wasn't expecting you after you had left with Ruby, but seeing you, tears well into his eyes, and he greets everyone with a giant hug.
Please no. It's okay. Your hug is here. Have Collodi. There. He's a hugger.
Rain, the child that you had saved, the child of the father, comes up and gives you a little doll and asks you to keep it, thanking you. There are multiple children here, right? There's like 3 or 4 of them, and these aren't all the ones you saved. These are just the family children. So everything is slightly sticky as you walk around, and there's a lot of fingerprints all about knee height all over the walls, and it's children. Children are children.
Yes, well,
eye height like Nexon, right?
You know what? I think maybe there's a few things that I can get ready before the morning. You all please just settle and get ready. I'll be back later. Collodi, stay with everyone. I'll just and Malvolo almost cannot get out of this house quicker. Like just his germophobia and his OCD just went through the roof into the emergency just run mode. I feel that he gets actually down the road away from town a few like a good 200-300 meters as he's just like has his little panic attack before he walks back into town and I'll find a nice quiet like inn or something to.
As the group watches Marvolo run, Marvolo, can you do me a favor and make a perception check as you're walking back?
I was going to say, I hope it's not an athletics check because Malvolo does not run well. He runs like his 4 axles are on different spokes. Limbs sort of fling in different directions as he runs around. Yeah, perception. Here we go. 13.
13. Awesome. As you're walking back into town, you kind of feel like you're being watched. Like something in the woods might be watching you. It's that weird, eerie feeling. As you're walking back to town, you get that weird feeling something is keeping an eye on you, but you're like, probably it's just in your imagination. Rain and Nexon, Cassandra, you are given a bountiful feast of delicious home-cooked food. Biscuits are made, dumplings and chicken, greens, corn, fresh corn, super sweet corn is given. The kids are all hanging literally off of Rain. They just love you. They
They're playing
are
on my antlers.
yeah, they're just playing with you. One of the older children, he seems to have taken a fascination with Nexon as you have all those strings and you are well put together. And you could see he's kind of just watching you and like observing your style. It's more of like, wow, this is the first time I've seen a person like this in this town. And it's more or less seeing art for the first time.
She'll kind of sit down and like show the kid how to make like some decorative like macrame type knots.
Mm-hmm. Oh, they are all about it. They are like, whatever you're doing, at first they're kind of trying to copy you. And then you notice that and now you're like kind of doing the back and forth and he is just obsessed with you. You could just see this like every time you do something new, bright-eyed and wonder. And you know, you're given your rooms. The children are kind of put to bed. Everyone's told to leave the guest alone. Marvolo, you find your way to the small inn. And by small, I mean there's like 2 rooms. And it's more or less like a B&B, bed and breakfast. They don't really have many folk that come through. The family there welcomes you. It's an older woman and her partner. And they welcome you. As you go in, as you're heading in, you hear like scamper of little feet. But again, you're like, no.
It can't be children. No
Can't
more.
be children.
Please.
The children aren't following you. And you go in and the door shuts for a good evening and a cup of tea. And with that, we will go to our break.
Yay!
The next day, everyone's fully rested, recuperated, enjoying themselves. As you wake up, the smell of breakfast, pancakes, bacon, ham, tea is just wafts through the house. The kids are all already at the table, excited to sit down. Nexon, your little friend, you could see him still making knots, trying to do the little knots, intricate knots that you were doing. He's following you, and then ironically, he has like a little notepad next to him. He's writing down, like he'll do a knot and then write something down, and then try a new knot and then write something down. Rain, the kids love seeing you. You know, you're like their new big friend. They just they think you're the best thing ever, especially the little ones, right? You're like the new giant cuddly toy.
I'm on the
Um,
floor playing with them, sort of thing.
yeah, they can't get enough of you. Marvolo, you wake up and it's a quiet morning for you. Tea. It's again a bed and breakfast, so there's tea and some biscuits. Uh, wait, we had this conversation. Uh, uh, Biscuits like the American biscuits, not the European biscuits, which is ours are
Yeah,
made
we call them
fluffy.
we call them scones, mate,
Oh, scones. There you go, scones. You guys are having scones.
or scones.
Scones. So they have scones. Blueberry and raspberry are your options. And some honey butter and tea. Rain, Nexon, as you're at the house, you still aren't sure where Marvolo is, but everyone feels safe. There's a knock at the door, and you could hear a slight conversation, and the husband, Roger, kind of calls out and says, Miss Rain, Miss Nexon, there's someone at the door for you.
Oh, uh, uh, all right.
Brain's
As
probably covered in children. Would you like to get that?
Yeah, I'll go see who it is. Yeah, she'll scurry over to the door.
Sure. As Nexon, you make your way to the door. It's your friend Ruby. She's come over. This was the last place you mentioned you would go, and she is here. She says, "Well, I wanted to catch you all before you left in the morning. I did pick up all the items you put down on the list. I have them waiting for you at the general store. Next, and you know where the general store is. You met that gentleman outside and had that conversation. Um, and you she says, if you need anything else, please let me know, but I will leave you to it. I was actually gonna head off myself to back to Sandpoint. I need to inform Sheriff Baylor about your victories and triumphs here, especially Marvolo, and I was also going to seek maybe a few guards to come down and to see if the temple up there, if they actually have a priest. I don't want to leave our temple alone. I want to inform them of what went on here.
Well, certainly. Safe travels, and keep an eye out.
Of course, I will.
Well, thank you so much, and again, I'm so sorry for your loss.
I appreciate your concerns, and thank you very much for everything you've done to the town, and thank you for telling me what happened to my husband. I appreciate that. It's better to know than to not know. And with that, she does a slight bow to you, and she waves, and she starts to head off down the road.
I'll let Rain know that Ruby's heading to Sandpoint. All that kind of telling her as kids are hanging off.
And they're just using me as a jungle gym at this point. Well, that's fantastic. Hopefully she'll get there safe at least.
Mm-hmm.
And then she's going to pick up one of the kids and just kind of throw it in the air and catch it, obviously.
No, just
shall we go collect Malvolo and gather our supplies?
Yeah, you know what? You're right. We've been here too long. She's going to set the kids down like, it was wonderful staying with you. You guys be safe and look out for each other and never go into the woods alone, okay?
They're like, yes, Miss Rain.
Okay. Be good and we'll come back and visit sometime, all right?
Okay. And a few of them and you can now see a few of them are like arguing with each other, and they're like, "No, I'm Rain," and then you can see them like running around like this.
Oh, more people should be like kids. Well, I suppose we should try to find Malvolo.
Mm-hmm.
You
I
went
think
which way again outside?
Yeah, you
Goodness.
mentioned something about maybe an inn.
You know, let's see if we can find this man. She's going to kind of go out in the streets and kind of, at first, quietly go, Malvolo! And continually get louder depending on if he answers.
Malvola will be like in the bed and breakfast, sort of looking out the window, sighing, sipping his tea, and he sees Rain like just yelling in the middle of the streets. She would never know. just he thanks his
Get out here right now.
he thanks his hosts and places the coin on the table before heading outside. I'm here. I am ready to go on this grand adventure to find a mass murderer.
Yes.
Well, and Ruby said that she's got all of the supplies for us at the general store. So, Malvolio, you get all your stuff.
Ah, wonderful. I'll collect the assortment of random trap making gear.
Do you need help carrying any of that? Especially while you're building. I'm happy to. I've got a free back and I can carry a lot of things on it.
Oh, that would be most helpful. At least until I finish Kalodi's main husk. Right now, the wooden blocks with bits of chain that I've been using just to kind of give him appendages for hugging is not quite up to scratch for carrying yet. But yes, that would be of most use. Thank you.
Sure. Remember, if you ever need help, all you have to do is ask.
Thank you. I will.
Oh, before we go, you still have your flower, right? You should hold on to that.
Well, I actually decided to press it in the paper that I was writing all the notes about the advice Nexon was giving from the other day.
I love that idea. It'll be a perfect thing to just hold on to it forever.
Yes, indeed.
Well, I suppose we should find our way to Foxglove Manor.
So looking through the items that you asked, Nexon, you find that it's a bright red shawl. Not that like super like hurt your eyes red, but it's like nice and red. And Marvolo, you actually find as you are kind of walking forward, you are able to locate, and this was what was really, really cool. They were able to locate a log, not like a big log, like, maybe something about 3 feet long of the wood you were specifically looking for. They had a little bit of it, not a ton, not to make all of Kalodi out of it, but you could definitely make something out of it.
Oh, I will start to make I'll start to make the core elements of Kalodi. So it'll basically be like a super skinny version of Kalodi.
Nice.
And then I'll build like stuff around him. Basically just try and keep his bones to be the most structurally sound.
Mm-hmm. Makes perfect sense. And Rain, if you did you ask for anything in particular you were hoping to find or receive?
I'm good.
Nope. There is animal food, pellets.
Oh, yeah.
You were definitely able to find that. Chicken feed has definitely been added to that. As the party starts to, head out onto their road, you have some time between here and the manor. If you look at the map that's up on the screen with everyone, you could see you're quite some ways away from it, as the manor is on the water. All the way, you see that like little U-shaped inlet. You're kind of far away. It should take you maybe most of the morning to get there. Get there by mid-afternoon. Um, the party starts to head out, and you find yourselves going through the forest, following the road. Make your way halfway there, and you can see Foxglove. Was that the Foxglove River? They've named it after themselves. Uh, as you're heading off into that direction, a little tiny little creature comes skirting out, panicked and excited, runs past uh, the party as they travel on the road, looking confused. It stops seeing the party and starts to dance around, shaking itself and waving in the hair a little tool. Rain, you've heard rumors of these creatures. They're not common. You know exactly what it is, as it is very frequent for druids of the earth to make these. They bind spirits from nature into something similar to what Marvolo does. But as Marvolo's is mechanical, this is more mystical. And little spirits are bound to these forms of nature. And it is a adorable Leshy. It's got like a little mushroom cap. It's got like a spear or something in its hands. And it's just dancing around, and it looks aggressive, and it's like, me.
Hi, little buddy. You seem a little lost. Are you supposed to be out here?
And it does a little dance, and it shakes its head. And as it shakes its head, like you could see pollen coming off of it.
Oh, good.
And it starts to poke at you guys, and it's like, and then pointing towards the woods, and then it's poke, and then pointing towards the woods.
Rain, do you know what this thing is?
Oh, yes. No. These yeah, they often work with druids in many ways, but it's called a leshy. They're like plant-based in creatures, right? That often work or accompany others in this particular sense. This one in this moment doesn't seem malicious towards us, and in fact, it seems like it's trying to get our attention for help. If I'm interpreting its dance moves properly. I'm not much of a dancer myself, but that's what I'm interpreting from this.
Okay. So this thing is telling us to go into the woods, and we are listening to it because it's cute.
It looks cute and it probably needs help.
Okay.
Perfect. See,
all right.
Remember that good feeling you had?
Good
Let's
feeling.
indulge it
Yes,
just
let's
for a
chase these
second.
good feelings. Tiny little earth thing. Do you want us to go that way?
And then it looks at the direction, and it's kind of prodding you with its stick, and it's like, and it's poking in that same direction that you're pointing.
Okay.
Isn't
Sure.
that adorable? It's kind of like trying to hurt us that way. Come on, let's go. Let's just indulge it for a little bit.
Okay, sure. Why not? I'm in a good mood. I had a good night's rest. Kalodi is covered in crayons. Let's do this.
I like that. Kalodi is covered in crayons. So the party starts to follow the Leshy deeper into the woods. Rain, this is the first time you've actually gotten to meet one of these little beasties. Normally they're not dangerous, especially ones created by other druids. They are usually friendly, or they'll try to lead groups to emergencies. So it probably is taking you somewhere where it needs to have you go.
So it's like a lassie. What is it,
More or
girl?
less, yeah. That's kind of what a lot of druids use them for, like a lassie type thing. As you're going through the woods, the canopy starts to darken, and it's you're getting yourselves deeper into like off the trail, and you come to a clearing of sorts. As you look around, the Leshy kind of scurries towards the back near some stones, and as you're looking around, you could tell this is not a holy place, but a place that hasn't been disturbed a lot. It's quiet. It's safe. Well, you get the feeling of safety. As you move deeper following the Leshy, again, it grows a bit darker. And let me just send everyone the map so you all can see.
What a quiet, secluded place this is.
Characters. So following the Leshy, we're not gonna put Cassandra on the map. Put Marvolo, Nexon, and Rain.
Yes, this place is quite secluded and quiet. One could murder someone out here in the forest and no one would ever know.
He just looks back at him like jaw dropped, eyes wide.
Wait, what? Yeah, that's
It was your idea to
really
follow
true.
it here.
It's friendly. I mean, that's what they're said to be. I mean, I don't have one myself, and I've not encountered, but most of them, it's been rumored to be very friendly and helpful, and connects with those of good souls.
You're not
Supposedly.
sure?
I mean, I feel fairly confident.
Oh,
Look.
all right.
Yeah, there are very few things that I am skilled at in this world, but I know a trap when I see one.
All right, well then, see if you can find the trap, Mr. Trapmaker. You're so
I will
good
look
at it,
around
find
for a
one.
trap.
As you move deeper into this area, the Leshy kind of brings you forward as a group to a like a grove of sorts. And as you're moving closer and closer, you can see now is a larger mushroom structure, and there are other of these cute little Leshies kind of dancing around. Dancing? Would dancing be the right term?
Yeah.
What
Swaying.
else?
Swaying around this larger creature.
Oh yeah.
The Leshy kind of starts to poke and prod at Rain, and is kind of like pushing her forward towards the large mushroom. Would be the only way to describe it.
Oh, that's something I've never seen before. Okay, this is new. But there aren't any traps though, right? So I'm still right about that part.
Currently,
Look.
no.
I point at the big mushroom and I said, if I had to guess, that That's it right there.
It's too obvious. I think. I hope. Okay, what do I have I seen a mushroom like this before?
No. Maybe. If you would like to make a recall knowledge check of nature, you may.
I will. A recall, like a nature check, then.
Yeah, just a nature check.
No, it's like total recall. You have to put
I
the.
was like, there's a recall. 26.
Okay. So this creature, it's called a Basidiron, also called a mind frond. It's a fungal creature that crawls about on woody tendrils. The large bowl-shaped pod atop its body collecting minerals, rich moisture. Whether runoff from cave walls or different like rotting like substances, that's how it gets its sustenance. Normally these things are about 6 feet tall and about 3 to 4 feet wide. This one is a bit larger than that.
Oh my goodness. This is
yeah.
a fungi that shouldn't be this big. It must have found a very rich food source, I imagine, of some sort. Which typically it's off of rotting dead things, so that probably means that we found a place of dead things nearby. Oh, this may not be a trap, but this is a really bad indicator. If we're looking for red flags, this is it, guys. We found the red flag.
Looking at the Leshy, are they like... Do they seem like to be like worshipping this thing or like upset by this thing?
More like worship would be the best way to describe this.
So, we have been brought here by the tiny little cute thing to worship the giant mushroom. Okay, maybe it's just me, but I think maybe for the betterment of the Leshies and then perhaps ourselves, we should ignite this mushroom and send it into the universe as nothing but ash and death.
But if it consumes dead things, maybe we could use it? Because we're dealing with undead things.
You wish to weaponize the fungus against the... We could weaponize the fungus against... Ooh. I like this. This is a good thought.
That's very clever.
As you kind of all have now come fairly close, the other Leshies kind of stop their swaying, and they all kind of pick up similar sticks, right? And they are now all like cheering as that one Leshy that brought you to this clearing is now kind of poking and prodding you guys to get closer to this larger thing.
I've seen Kong Skull Island. I know what this is all about.
And at this point, I would like to cash in my GM monster token thingy, my Sin Boon.
Ah!
Oh no!
Oh no! We don't have no.
Who gave the DM a sin boon? This is no. It's been there haunting us this entire time.
It has.
This whole time. I've been sitting on this. I've been waiting for this. As you all come closer, the Leshy, the Leashies all now start to sway and release a very large cloud of mind fungus. Everyone gets affected by it, and this is the fun part. So it's called the hallucinogenic cloud. It's about 20 feet, and each creature have to make a save. And normally, it gives me 6 options of something crazy that will happen. I get to make them even crazier because I actually have the sin boon of abjuration, right? Or,
Yep. Abjuration is the sin boon of envy. Thank you to the audience member who donated the $10 for that sin boon. We greatly appreciate this, and it is all your fault. No, it's fine.
Yeah.
It's good.
Yeah.
So everyone gets it. Now, abjuration is very protective magic. So basically, all the leshies are a little bit more stronger. They get buff, and the giant fungal thing, its tendrils kind of reach into them and start to puppet them like puppets. And they all now have their sticks. Everyone needs to make a fortitude saving throw first, so I could see what kind of cool, crazy fungus, weird fungus power stuff happens.
Oh no.
Oh.
Oh no!
Oh no!
Oh no!
Ah!
Uh,
I'm in danger.
yeah.
Mind control. All of a sudden, Rain and Nexon look at Malvolo. One of us.
Yeah.
Ah, crap.
I know.
Go follow the cute thing, she
This
says.
hurts
It'll be
me.
adorable, she says. Go to the wedding, she says. It'll be fine, she says.
I'm still having fun, okay?
I'm gonna die.
Right up until the point I kick it with my last breath, I'm having fun.
That's very true. It's very true. I love how Malvolo is like this. It's basically the representation of my impression of every shut-in in the world. Like, you know, like, I don't want to go outside. It's super scary. And then you have that really, you know, extroverted friend who's like, come on, you'll love it. And then you, like, give him a chance, and then you almost die.
Mm-hmm. That's exactly what's going to happen. So, Nexon and Rain, please roll a d6.
Oh, twins.
Oh.
Twinsies. Awesome. So, as you kind of step into this area where you could see the leshies kind of dancing, and then they spray this fungal spore every which way. This is gonna be amazing. Both Nexon and Rain, normally it would be a target of your next attack or something. But this, I'm going to change it. So it's now the target. So an item you are holding turns into a viper and is acting like it's trying to eat and constrict upon you. So imagine you're standing there and all of a sudden that beautiful red scarf in your head now is a viper and it's trying to strangle you. Rain, your antlers have turned into snakes.
Can't get rid of those. I'm just gonna start running around like with my hands
Just
on my
no.
antlers.
Yeah, Nexon's like
Just running up and down this
trying
field.
to pull the scarf off and like throwing it
Yeah.
away. Get off, get it off.
So Marvolo, your friends are now screaming that there's snakes all over them, and you don't see anything. You're like, guys, I this is why I wear a mask. I clearly wear a mask for this reason. Please roll initiative. So perception at this point, and
Oh, yeah.
we can now have fun fighting this giant fungus creature.
All right.
Ooh. So really good on you guys, kind of taking the lead on this. Marvel, look at it, 26. So, yep. So, just so everyone knows, you guys who see snakes have to spend a round fleeing in terror from snakes. Sorry. I'm having fun. I don't know if anyone else is, but it is Rain's turn. So, Rain.
I am fleeing in terror from the vipers that are attached to my head. Do I have like a certain movement or from the effect of this?
You literally start running in terror in your own personal direction. Just imagine if all of a sudden tomorrow you woke up and you were Medusa. I was like, snakes.
I'm to protect others. I think I'm gonna run further away. Because I don't want anybody else to get attacked by the snakes, whether it's my own teammates or the Leshy, who I still think are absolutely adorable and innocent in all of this. That's my turn.
There you go. Thank you very much. Marvolo Collodi, the dynamic duo.
All right. So. Okay. Rain, where are you go? Rain.
The snakes.
Snake. Oh. Okay. Let's try this out. I know we said we weren't going to set things on fire, and I knew I only got one bag of this stuff, so I'm going to yeet my flour bag over onto the giant mushroom. You know, sort of like trying to rip it open to fill the air with as much flour as I can. And then I'm going to have Collodi 5-foot step up, and then I'm going to go boop, and then explode Collodi in the flour. Which is a big ol' reflex save from everyone within that area, and then whatever the flour does to enhance that explosion, that'd be cool, but I'm not holding my breath. Ha ha ha. Get it? Because the pollen is turning you all insane, and...
pun damage.
Oh.
Reflex save. Alright, so this creature goes, as I assumed. Yep. This is what I assumed would happen. All my creatures that are plant-based cannot move.
All right. Oh, wow, that one can.
That one jumped out the way. There you go. All right, so 12 points. Roll an extra d6 for more fire.
Hell yeah. 14 points of damage. Actually, I think I'm also able... Let me just check if I need to spend anything to do so. If I have the breakthrough class innovation, I do not. Okay, that's fine. Yep, that's fine. Yep. I exploded them.
You blew them up? Oh, man. Dang. So everything is now on fire. Hot fire.
I knew I promised Rain I wouldn't do that.
Don't worry,
I think
I'm
Rain's
oblivious
more
since I'm
concerned.
running around with snakes on my head.
Moving forward. Go. So, having that explosion happen, this giant mushroom starts to uproot itself, and you could see the roots now ripping out the ground. And this is kind of terrifying, as it's a giant mushroom that's going to choose to start to move. So it stands. Well, it uproots itself, which is one action. Second action, it's going to start to move. Oh wait, Collodi's right in front of it, right?
Yeah.
Collodi. All right. It's going to use one of its
Please don't.
mushroom bits to swing on Collodi.
My Collodi body.
By
Cool.
Collodi.
Oh, he's okay. He's fine.
So it slams into Collodi. Now the nice thing is, it actually does something a little bit more, but you wouldn't know because Collodi is immune to it.
Hooray! Pick a card, 1 to 5 for our critical hit.
5.
No 5. This is a bludgeoning weapon.
It is. It bludgeons.
Okay, so the bludgeoning attack here is Shattered Hand. Until healed, the target is clumsy 2, enfeebled 2, and cannot use one of its arms. So
Oh my
I
goodness.
just fixed that as Kalodi's arm shatters and just falls aside.
That's
Hey.
very rough.
That wasn't cool. That was a new hand. Come on, are you kidding me with this? Look, the only place that a mushroom like you belongs is on the left side of a pepperoni pizza that I'm sharing with my roommate Todd, who keeps putting mushrooms on my pizzas. There's no
Damn it,
mushrooms on
Todd.
Azar.
This is why we can't have nice things.
Yeah, I feel like how many times has Kalodi broken himself in battle from critical hits?
All of it.
I feel like almost
single time.
every single
That
time.
doesn't even include the times he purposely does that.
That's true.
That's true.
That's true. So yep, that's all. That's all I can do. I'll just sit there and whinge.
Cool. My mushrooms go. My angry mushrooms all go. The first one is, since it is been attacked, it's going to stab at Kalodi with its little weird stabby bit. Oh, my mushrooms are on fire today. There you go, Kalodi. And
Technically that's a different dude, so that's technically another crit.
I thought it was like one crit per. Oh, it was one crit per.
Per person, yeah. All right, 1 to 5.
5. We'll stay with 5.
All right, here we go. What's this one? Thunderstrike. Target is deafened until healed.
Poor Kalodi.
What? You talking to me? You talking to me? I can't hear. There's a ringing in my ear. You must be talking to me.
Dang. That is rough. Next up is my next fungus guy. Fungi number 2 is going to stab out at Marvolo because he is standing right next to you. It's the one that led you here. It was a trap this whole time. And he deals damage. Rah. Next up.
Actually, no, it's fine. We'll keep it as is. But just FYI, when we did the last level up, we didn't add trained to the proficiency of my armor for Kalodi again. So I'm all better now. I don't have 14 AC.
Nice. This little fungus dude is going to step up and then fire its spore pod over at Nexon. And you get
Alright.
even more spored with that 1 point of damage, but spored. Oh no, what does spores do? Well, you have to take a saving throw. So it's a fortitude saving throw to stop being spored.
Oh.
No. This is actually weird because as you see your scarf come to life as a snake and it starts to wrap around your body, you actually feel like you can't move because you're actually slowed. Because it wraps, it's like Tanglefoot, so you're minus 10 feet. And this guy just kind of steps forward and ends his turn. And next is your go. Oh.
Sorry. Yeah, so I will kind of pulling the scarf off. I can't move quite as far. I will. So slowed, I lose one of my actions.
Yeah, just one action.
Okay. So yeah, I'll run over here and kind of throw the scarf, and then for my final action, I'll run
Slightly away
over
from it.
that way.
No. No, not the horrific.
I don't like snakes. Why did it have to be snakes?
So Rain, it is your go. You now, as you have gotten all the way over there, you now realize there are no more snakes in your hair. It was all a lie.
I've been tricked, bamboozled. I'm gonna run back to try to do something useful. All right, I'd like to. Actually, I don't have to get too close to this, so that's what we're gonna change this up. I'm going to move closer as part of my action, and I'm going to use produce flame, and I'm going to. Things burn, right? Plants don't
Yeah.
like fire. And I already see that Malvolo has already started a bonfire of sorts anyway. So let's just carry this on.
It's all in your imagination. It's just.
Sure, just like
Yeah,
the
it's
snakes.
just like the
Fire
snakes.
isn't
Yeah,
real.
exactly. It's
The
just yeah.
smoke that I'm breathing in, that's not
No,
not a sign
no.
at all of fire.
Yeah. Fire.
I am going to make it a ranged attack. And I'm going to attack the fungus
Okay.
there instead. So I will make a spell attack roll against my target's AC. So let me pull that up.
Oh no. There's a lot of smoke in that area.
Yeah, thanks. Thanks for all the fire. It really makes it easier to attack. Fine. All right. Well, cool. I'm going to put my shield up as my last action. Absolutely terrified and now unsure of what's going on. And I am very uncomfortable because I interpreted this wrong and I'm kind of embarrassed because I brought us here to this death trap. And it's kind of my fault. So I put my shield up, partly for protection, partly to hide from embarrassment.
Awesome. As you kind of miss that, Collodi goes, but Collodi is the struggle bus is real for Collodi Marvolo.
Okay, yeah, no, it's pretty much. But Collodi's not doing too badly. Yeah, Collodi's not doing too badly. The explosion didn't do too bad. So I'm going to use one action to command Collodi to attack the Basidrion. Or Basidrondridicon.
Yes.
Yep, that thing.
That
And
thing.
then I'm gonna use my other two actions to blow Collodi up again.
Yes.
So I'll do the attacks first.
Mhm.
Puppet Blade, swing.
Hey, that's
I hit. Hell yeah. I didn't think that would hit because I am very badly broken.
Mhm.
But I hit. Take this. You giant piece of... Oh, it's a weakness. I like that. Aha!
surprise.
Ah! Oh, why wasn't I doing this from the start?
Oh
Oh,
my gosh!
The floodgates have been opened. We're playing on Team Collodi now.
oh man.
Cody.
All right. I'm gonna just pick number 3. Uno, dos, tres. With my slashing ugly wound, -2 to charisma checks, except intimidation. Good.
Got
I'm
it.
glad I made it slightly uglier.
It's uglier.
I've just I've drawn like a little smiley face on it, like I've got haha oh shing 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 shing. Now it's got like the jack-o'-lantern face.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sounds horrifying.
And then kaboom for 7 points of damage, but they all get reflex saves.
Let's see how this turns out. Did that pass?
That would definitely pass, yeah.
Okay. So that's not a crit pass, but just a pass, which is fine. So that takes half a 7, which is like 3. And these guys roll. Let's see what they get. Ah, that fails. So they will take 7. Fungal Leshy 2, 4. 3 is too far from you, man. All right. Anything else, Marvolo?
No, that's it.
Cool beans. So the big it's not that intelligent, but fire bad, right? We can argue that. So it's gonna actually start to move back and further into the woods, kind of leaving a massive hole in the ground right in front of Kolodi.
Your lucky
As
attack of
that's-
opportunities don't exist in this version of the game.
As it's choosing to leave because fire bad.
I love a good coward.
I mean, hey. So this guy, the Leshy, is going to shoot Rain with its spore pod, and it misses.
I've
This
gotten
one,
much more dexterous since I was dodging the snakes. Consider that training.
this guy's gonna stab Kolodi with that little bludgeoning item, and it misses. Come on. This guy, he's gonna shoot a spore pod over at Marvolo. Let's see. Nope. Is that a critical failure? No, that wasn't. And this guy is just gonna stab out, and it's gonna try and stab Rain. This is the one that led you there. It's turned on you.
How dare you? How could you?
I'm gonna call him Liam.
Liam. Nexon
Liam?
is your go.
All right. And I no longer think that my scarf is a
Evil serpent. No.
snake. All right. I'm gonna just kind of like see it just laying there as my scarf and turn around and look at me. Well, now you got me madder than a wet hen. And I'll shuffle my feet and point my finger out at the one that threw fungus at me, and I will cast electric arc.
Yes.
If my mouse doesn't decide to die.
No. Mouse, not like
Uh-oh.
this.
Come on.
You're so close.
There we go. Maybe. Come on. There we go. Ah, that's what I need to do.
Oh,
Oh.
it 13 versus 20. So it failed? You failed. passed.
It failed.
It failed. Yep.
Yeah. Wait. Yeah. Okay. So, that means it does damage.
Oh, lightning damage. No.
So that's 6 points of that, and I'll have it arc over to the one next to it as well.
For another 6.
Oh, that one.
Oh, that one chose not to. It was like, no,
Yeah.
thank you. Okay. That jumps it to the top of the round. Rain, it is your go.
I'm okay. I'd like to try to attack it again. It's very clear to me that it's running away, right?
It's moving away from the constant source of exploding fire,
Okay.
which is Marvolo and Kalodi.
I think it's still within my 30-foot range, so I'm gonna try to launch another produce. I'm just gonna try to launch a little mini fireball over at
Do it.
Let's see if this works. Oh no.
Oh no. No.
And that one won't do much, will it, huh?
No. But if you want to use your hero point, you may.
I'm gonna use my hero point I'm 100%
Hooray.
going to use my hero points because that
So
is
you-
embarrassing.
Yeah.
I'm a druid and I can't do anything to any of these plants. What are plants?
Oh!
yeah.
That is how you turn
That's
around in that
terrible.
one.
That was worth it to use that hero point. Yes. Hi, Nat 20.
There you go.
That's what we're looking for. That's what we're looking for. Okay, 6 damage, 6 fire damage.
And pick a number between 1 and 5.
3.
1, 2, 3. Allergic reaction. Target takes 1d8 poison damage.
Yeah, roll a d8 poison damage.
It is allergic to fire.
Fire.
Allergic to
I
fire.
mean, I probably am too, but I've not tested that.
Well, I mean, you've heard of a heat rash, right? I mean,
Yeah. 6.
6. Nice. So
I
7.
also am very sensitive to fire.
Cool. 70. Yeah. I don't know if it's going to last. Claudia, it is your go. So there's a 5-foot hole in front of Claudia where this creature was kind of like rooted into the ground. And now it's kind of moving away from everyone.
all right. So yeah, Malvol is definitely going to instruct Claudia to go get it. And Claudia's like, "You got it, boss. Don't worry about it. I got this." And he's going to leap over the hole. And as he does, he's going to go, "Ah!" and then swing his giant sword.
Sure. As Claudia jumped over the hole, something kind of caught his eye.
Ah, my eye!
And there was
Oh, sorry,
something
that's not what you meant.
shiny in the bottom of the hole.
Oh, to stab or to grab the shiny thing. I'll grab the shiny thing.
Okay.
Oh,
Reaching
ooh.
in.
So there's kind of like this dramatic moment where Collodi's in midair, and there's like this, ooh, and then he turns
Yep.
around, and Malvol's like, "Collodi, you idiot!" Ugh. And he's gonna explode again.
So, this is thanks to Bloody Z035 for an amazing item. As Claudia reaches into the hole, finding a faint, delicate etch of lightning across this short sword of this blade. As Claudia kind of pulls it out the ground, it crackles with electricity. This is the Bloody Spark Blade. And yeah, Claudia now has it. Well, Claudia has it for now.
Oh. I mean, theoretically, I can't use it because as a summoner, I can only use one of my actions to give it 2 actions, which I imagine moving and then picking up the item is the second one. But for flavor reasons, could I potentially test out this new?
Sure.
So am I just adding a short sword to my list of stuff for Collodi, or just use my puppet blade?
It used a puppet blade for now, but it is a +1 cold iron striking short sword. And that's a mouthful.
Ooh.
The longer the name, the cooler it is.
Oh,
That's literally
I will not miss. I'm gonna use my
hero.
my hero
points.
point. I'm gonna definitely use my hero point on that one. Come on, Collodi. What?
How
How dare he?
far off are you? Oh, you're like right there. This thing's running and you'll hit. I will nominate that you hit.
Yay! All right, how much
Because
damage does
you're- You're literally off by 1. And that's
Alright.
kind of rude.
the?
So striking, so the whole mouthful is +1, right? So that means you would have had the +1 to hit with the item.
Oh yeah.
Striking means it adds an additional die of that damage type. So this is a short sword, which I believe is a D6. So you would roll 2d6
Mhm.
when you deal damage, and once per day you may spend an action to activate the blade, and you kind of point the blade at a foe within 30 feet of you, and lightning arcs from the blade, striking into them, dealing additional 3d4 plus 4 electrical damage to each creature in that line.
Wow. Bloody hell. Okay. Yeah, I'll stab it.
So that stabbing it does kill the giant fungal beastie. So how do you kill it? Because you got this lightning blade, and you gotta jump
So
forward.
as Kalodi sort of picks up this shiny item, and he sort of raises it in the air, he says, "Look what I found! I found this here thing. It's got like these cool lightning patterns on it. What do you think?" And as he sort of is like gesturing, he actually gestures over his shoulder and accidentally stabs the fungus behind him. And he goes, "Oh, sorry, my bad." And then as he sort of goes to try and pull it out, there's just this crackle of as veins of burnt lightning like etch themselves onto the fungus's flesh. There's like smoke that starts to come out of the top frond, and he goes, "Oh, this is going in me. I'm gonna put this somewhere that not like the rain." Oh no! This is I look. Hey, it just pulled out my arm. I could use this for an arm. Look! Watch! It's not really well stuck in. It's just Kalodi's like over the moon. Now with karate chop action.
Karate chop action. Awesome. So
The rest of us are just worried now that Kalodi has something like this.
yeah, as Kalodi finally kills off that giant fungal creature, the tendrils that were in these leshies kind of start to wither away, and you can see the leshies are now themselves kind of withering, and their items are falling out of their hands, and they seemed confused by what's going on.
I'm going to lower my shield a little bit, like kind of like peeking out from
Mhm.
over it. Are you okay?
And the leshy that's in front of you, after dropping its weapon, sees like there's fire, there's the fungus thing is on the floor dead, and it's confused, and it kind of cowers away from you.
No. I'm gonna put my shield down.
Mhm.
I'm gonna kind of get down, like maybe on my knees, so I'm not towering over it. Are you okay? Are you feeling all right?
And they are now starting to like huddle together, like hugging each other and trying to like avoid the group in fear, more or less.
We're the big scary monsters. It's okay. It's okay. I'm gonna invite Nexon over because I think Nexon looks really very sweet and pretty. And like, perfect. Bring her over. Jill is probably less terrifying than the rest of us. How we look.
Meanwhile, Kalodi's in the corner like this,
Chopping away.
I think you might be muted.
Are you muted? Might be muted.
Dawn.
Dawn?
Either that or she's so soft we can't hear her.
Oh, nope, I was muted.
Okay. Damn wizard.
Yeah, I'll kind of grab my shawl and walk over to Rain and be like, are they friendly now? We
I'm
sure?
not sure. Friendly, they are afraid. I don't think they knew exactly what was going on. So, if anything, we could persuade them that we're not the bad guys here. I think that might help. But I look a little bit tall and big and imposing, and she's gonna look over at Kalodi. He's Kalodi. Now Volo has a mask. They need a sweet, facial expressions that they can read and look at and say, you don't look so scary. And I think you might be the best one for that.
Yeah. Next, and we'll just kind of sit down and like kind of grin, but she's not really sure. Like the like.
The fungal leshies at this point kind of have joined together into like a small group, cowering from everyone, more or less in fear. They don't know what was happening, but since they don't have a mouth, it's all very pantomimey. They look at Rain and Nexon and Marvolo, and they're like, so the one that kind of walked forward that you met on the road steps forward again and starts to holds its hand out kind of at like Rain, like with its palms forward, it's holding its hand out.
I'm still on my knees, but I'm gonna reach out and kind of hold its hand. I think that's what it wants, but it's probably fairly small. I'm gonna give him like 2 fingers to hold on to.
Just having held onto its hand, it's going to draw symbols on your 2 fingers. And basically it's writing in or drawing symbols of nature, right? Of things it's seen. And it's kind of like Morse code, but it's in Druidic, right? So the problem is no one's ever explained to me what Druidic is. And I've heard people be like, it's symbols, it's a language, it's animal sounds. And I was like, no one's ever given me a good argument for anything. So it's now Morse code.
Perfect. I love it.
So it's Morse coding, because you could like tap on wood and get Morse code and stuff. So it's Morse coding, basically saying like what happened. It's asking what happened. It's asking you what happened.
Well, we found you over on the road, and you asked us to follow you over here. And then the fungus, I'm going to point to that big fiery now burning fungi over there, had tendrils that connected to you, and you and your friends attacked.
Oh, so it apologizes for attacking you, and it says, basically it tells you that the big fungus kind of made it do that. Like they don't want any problems. They're sorry, more or less. They're just it's apologizing.
Okay, I'm going to turn to the group. Guys, it's okay. They're apologizing. They didn't mean to do that. They were under control of the fungi. So now they're free, essentially. And they're not our enemies. Looks like Clody, not our enemies. She's going to turn back to the Leshy. So, where don't you normally have a druid, or well, what are you doing out here? How did you find the fungi?
And then it responds via Morse code, explaining to you that, it's just right in your palm. Oh, what was that scene from Charlie's Angels with Drew Barrymore and all of them when they were like in the dark and they Morse coded how they were gonna beat everyone up? That was a cool scene.
Nice reference there.
Yeah, right. Old school. Sorry about if anyone's younger than like 30. It basically explains how they had a druid, right? And the druid of this area, like in this region, because you are fairly far away from Sandpoint at this point, right? They say that the druid, the stinky ones came and got rid of the druid.
The stinky. They said the stinky ones came and killed their druid. Typically, the Leshy come with druids and they work with druids, kind of like a partnership of sorts. But the stinky ones, do you think that could be the undead?
I mean, they were kind of smell. Can you ask if it smelled like rotting? I mean, if they're mushrooms, they probably would know what that smells like.
Yeah, yeah. No, that's an excellent idea. Were they rotting? Were they
Yes.
dying?
It responds that they smelt like rotting, but they also smelt bad. Like uh un un unclean. It's a
Oh,
weird that it's trying to explain, like now it's basically going through different words it knows, like unclean, bad, poison. So like that, like it wasn't healthy.
okay. It's an unhealthy smell, rotting part of it, but another foul stench layered with it. So
Wait, if it was a foul stench, could it perhaps be the chicken? What? Jared just got that. I'll be quiet.
Can I use my sin boon again?
one more time.
Just one more time for
Amazing giant
Marvolo.
chicken illusion chase him around here.
No.
I mean,
Could
that
you
that
point
might
us
make
to where the bad things are? Point us in that direction.
So it,
The hunting
turns
dogs.
to the
They're
other-
coming. Quick, Leshies. Hide.
it turns to the other ones, and it does a little dance, and you can assume that's how they communicate with each other. And they all like run towards you and grab everyone's hands and starts to take you towards the road.
Follow them. It's taking us to where they lost their druid. Now, that may mean that we're going into a dangerous territory. So they are not leading us into a trap, but we are going into a bad place. Possibly.
all right.
And we're still following them.
And as they start to lead you out of this dark wood, you the group kind of heads following away from this area, and we pan out, and we now see in the distance, further into the woods, a shadowy large creature kind of stepping around. And that's where we'll end today.
This is the chicken! I know it!
The
That's what I
giant
was just like,
chicken.
wait, I
Chicken.
realized, like, wait, we're following small beans. There's a group of small beans. We were looking for it. Sorry, my brain just made the connection like 5 seconds later.
I want to say thank you very much to everyone joining me today. Thank you very much to my cast. I feel like if we could all do the chicken dance one day, we should, just for this. Yeah, there we go. I'm glad everyone knows the chicken dance.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
worldwide. You know, like one day in the future, the English language will be replaced with simple variations of the chicken dance.
That's how I would like my future to go.
Yeah.
So again, I want to thank Hero Forge for the amazing minis. That was really fun to see those really cool mushroom leshy monsters, which was fun. I want to say thank you very much to Sirenscape for the really cool sound effects we have going on every so often. I think they might have giant chicken sound effects on there if you're looking. We'll check that out for later.
I think it's just a chicken sound effect that I just boost the volume on.
There we go. There you go.
I know we're going to be very disappointed when it's not actually a chicken.
Not a giant chicken. There it is
Yes.
in the background. And I also want to say thank you very much to Paizo for creating Rise of the Runelords. It's a really fun campaign. As you can see, we're having a blast with it. Even we're throwing in some of our own little stuff, but it's fun to just run. It's really, really awesome. And of course, I want to thank the amazing cast and crew that I play with. You are all amazing. And when they're not here playing with me, and Michael on his channel, you could find them at their own local areas. And I will throw it over to Dawn, where you could find her because she has really great videos.
Yeah. You can find me at youtube.com/roll for initiative, where I make videos with my partner Ryan all about tabletop RPGs and our other geeky interests. And you can also find us on Twitter and Instagram at R4iBlog.
Oots, I'm Becca Godsey. You can find me at Becca Godsey on Instagram and on Twitter, and here on Twitch at Caustic Phoenix. We'll be on later this evening playing some Destiny 2. I have a lot of dailies that I have to get done. So much little work.
And I'm Michael. I'm the Dead Aussie Gamer. This is my place. This is my face, and you can find it here playing a bunch of different role-playing games. Actually, you know what? I've reached the end of, I think, my recent season. So right now I'm only doing this game and my Patreon games, which are Monday, Wednesdays, and Saturdays, Australian times, Sundays, Tuesdays, and Fridays, US times, where I am playing Starfinder, Curse of Strahd, and Strange Aeons, which is Pathfinder First Edition. I'm also appearing once a fortnight on WSD 20, playing an Illithid named Nikos in Rime of the Frost Maiden. So that is actually a lot of fun. Ironically, though, I am actually not I'm the nicest person in our group. So that'll tell you something about the kind of game we're playing. So yeah, a lot of fun. Go check those out. And of course, last but not least, we would not be here. We would not have this amazing and incredible adventure without the master of games himself, Mr. Jared. Tell us where we can find your beautiful and wonderful self.
Thank you, Michael. You could find me every alternating Wednesday here on Twitch at NVNG, just 4 little letters, or you could come to our website and check us out. Check out our podcast at nvngpodcast.com. That's super easy. So thank you very much. And I'm going to toss it back over to Michael because usually we raid and other such lovely things. Michael?
Yes, we do. And a couple of other quick things. First of all, a very special thank you to Carla. Even though she cannot be here today, you can go visit her on Dum Dum Dice. She does amazing content over there, and she is also a fellow creator from the Southern Hemisphere. I met Carla many years ago, and she is by far one of the nicest and most engaging people to ever grace the Twitch screen. So definitely go check her and her channel out as well. And a very special thank you to all of the people who donated today. Sir Terrace for the hero point earlier on today, as well as Bloody for, of course, the Bloody Lightning Edge, which is the new magic item that is now a permanent feature of this game. So thank you so much for that. Again, every little bit goes towards just supporting the channel, and we greatly appreciate it. Whether you are just here to watch, just here to hang, or if you are a raider like the Dreaded GM, Hardware Jones, or Mana Pot Studios, you guys are always amazing, and we love each and every one of you. We are now going to go and raid our dear friends over at the Six Sides of Gaming. They are currently playing Dungeons & Dragons, so we're going to go share them some love. Don't forget, when we jump into chat, give them the good old Aussie. But we're going to sign out now with a glimpse at some of the earlier Hero Forge animations that we did. And till next time, until next week, from us to you, game hard or die trying. Good night, folks.